What's going on today, gang, team, family, friends, everybody in between? Welcome to another segment of our Food, More Thoughts, or Mo Thoughts, Volume 1. So as you can see on the dock today, we have some grilled chicken breasts. So making a little bit of a chicken fajitas. So I got some tortillas over here on the side, some spinach, got a little lime piece that I'm ready to cut up. And then just gonna throw in some seasoning. Might throw in some Tony Chachere's. Got the classic. I'm gonna go a little bit of sea salt action. Got some pepper, so we'll keep it pretty basic. Throw in some Tony Chachere's. If I want to elevate the flavor, but more food, more thoughts. This is coming from a place of, again, if you watch that first part, and we're gonna start chopping it up here in a second. But if you were here for that first clip, first video, that was in place. Honestly, it might be even cutting the fajitas in the wrong direction, but you know what? It's all good. Coming from a place of the athletes and just people in general, if they're active, tend to be under eating rather than overeating. Now, today's point of discussion, is related to the first section in that, and it comes down basically to this. If you're some of us, and I'm not going to use this, I don't like eating the tendon part, even though it's somewhere in there already, but I don't like that. So I'm going to throw that away. But some of us have gotten to, and I say some of us, that could apply to you, could apply to somebody you know, but there are some people here who are built like tanks. So I'll use this analogy. I say built like tanks. Pause, give me a second, and then it'll kind of make sense. I'll use this analogy. The body, think of it like a car, right? How or what are you consuming to make your car run? In this case, your body, right? Some cars require unleaded. Some cars require diesel. Well, I guess trucks, Some vehicles require premium. Some vehicles require, so, right, you get the point. Now, because of the size of the vehicle, right, will determine the size of the tank, or I guess it's a correlation. Your tank will determine how far you go. And so, if you have, like for myself, a Nissan Altima, it may not look like it, but it holds a pretty significant amount. The tank can hold, if I remember correctly, 15, 16 gallons. And it doesn't look like it, but again, it does. And so that's coming from a place of, okay, I can hold 16 gallons. That means I can go pretty far with 16 gallons in my vehicle. However, if I put diesel in my Nissan that takes unleaded, that first basic gas, not I'm not a technician, so technically I don't know what diesel would do to my unleaded consuming vehicle. However, and obviously we can imagine it's probably not going to end up well, and I'll probably need a repair of some sort. But however, I can implement, or I won't, because technically it's not recommended, but it's also not recommended. I could put premium and see what that does, and it might help the engine run a little bit longer. But on the flip side of things, it's also, well, premium is typically, right, more expensive out of the three. And so we run with unleaded because that's what's recommended for the vehicle. Usually you don't want to go against that. And so thinking about the body in that same manner of, what are you driving? How is your body? What is your body frame like? Some of us are tall, skinny. Some of us are tall and a little bit thicker. Some of us are short and stout. Some of us are short and stocky. Some of us are in the middle. and you don't gain weight easily, so you eat a lot, or you do gain weight easily, so you don't eat a lot. Now, so just assess, what is your engine like? What type of vehicle are you driving? Okay, take a moment. Yeah, I know my seasoning's not the best. Hold up. I know, it's all good. It's all good. Just basic. We will keep it a little simple, real simple. But again, assess the vehicle that God has given you, not physically, but not the physical car out in your driveway, but the car that you're currently given as your bodily function, right? And so, what does that look like? Okay. Now, take a moment to think about, what kind of gas have you been putting into your vehicle recently, right? Some cars, right? If you're an ultra marathoner, if you're a Ironman, if you're a high performer, let's just keep it at that. If you're a high performer, or if your job, again, I'll touch base with that. If your job requires a high demand on the body, then ideally you would want to be, as best you can, because I know there's some other factors that play into this, but as best you can, you would want to supply or give your body the recommended gas or fuel in order to perform at that level. And so, wow, this might be a little bit too much salt, but you know what? The body needs sodium. All right, don't be scared of that sodium. Okay, so high performers, right? You might need to be consuming more of the premium gas rather than eating or consuming the unleaded gas, right? Which is, well, that's dependent on what your diet looks like and nutrition and all these other things. But something a meal that is simple and high performing, such as this is 3 chicken breasts that uh, can average, depending on the size, but anywhere from 120 to 175 calories per. And then within each chicken breast is about, again, can vary, but 20 to 30 calories, depending on how big it is. And so right here, I'm dealing just within the meat alone with my protein. I'm dealing with 75 grams of proteins, and so that alone, without the added vegetables, other different little details. I put some olive oil into the pan, let it heat up for a second. So if or okay, so now coming back to the vehicle, right? And so over time, depending how your age, your space, what you do, what you don't do, on and off, um, will determine, what you should be fueling your vehicle with. And I'm going to keep it in reference to that. And so for me, I'm pretty active as a trainer, dealing with athletes. I want to be able to set an example for them, and as well, just dealing with people, and coming in contact with people as a strength and performance nutritional guidance coach. Having this in common, or having this bridge to be able to gap the commonalities between us, right? That's kind of what, as a connecting point, we can all kind of relate to. I'm gonna throw in some Tony's Hasheries, just to give it a little bit more zesty, a little bit more. Whoa, excuse me, a little bit more spice, I guess. Even though it's really not that spicy, it's more of a Creole, right? But I want to be able to set the example for the individuals, the athletes, anywhere. Not only the ones that I work with, but those out there who are trying to see, hey, like, what can I do? Again, that right there is about, you can vary anywhere from 300 to 450 calories right here, just the chicken alone, with about 70 to 80 grams of protein, right? That can vary. So as I wait for that, now, again, and then I'll say it again, this is me washing my hands. What kind of vehicle are you driving? And how important is it for you to fuel the vehicle that God gave you in order to continue or the amount of miles that you keep putting on your vehicle, how long do you think you'll be able to go longevity, the longevity of the vehicle by the things that you're eating, the things that you're consuming, not only physically, but also that also plays into the mental and the spiritual and the emotional aspects of all the different things that make up who we are. And where are some spots and some places that you think that you could do better at, right? Not just, ooh, I'm gonna eat better, but what other aspects? And so let's just put it into perspective. If I had an experience in high school that I was the joke of the town and whatever else, or I was a joke of the school, and then I ate my feelings oftentimes, and I ate my feelings for years and years and years, and now we get to a point of, well, this is just who I am, and so we continue to eat our feelings or our stress or what trauma, and so we confide in food. Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, as we've heard before, as you probably hear often, right? And so this can also go into terms with, honestly, this is looking kind of a little unseasoned, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some more because we like seasoning around here. But if you're the joke of the end of every joke, or whatever have you, and now you're just kind of like, well, this is who I am, this is my identity, right? That doesn't have to be the case on a spiritual level, on a physical level, right? But you have to start somewhere. And so some of us, and I'll just say it like this, some of us are built like Jeeps and Hummers and have that, just that strong frame build aspect built to us. Some of us are more of a slender, more athletic, more of a, ooh, look at him, I bet he can run fast. More of that Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren type look to our frame, right? And then there's others in between who might have uh, more of the Hyundai sedan hatchback look, where it's like you're not a tank per se by the looks, but you're also not going to be the fastest person on the court or on the floor or just in general, right? But you have a good frame, you have a good size. You're not fast, you're not slow, but you're somewhere in between. And so, man, it still looks a little bit unseasoned. My gosh, what are we, or what are you doing as a point of allowing your vehicle to continue to run even when you may not be? What are you fueling your vehicle, even in moments where you may not be able to fuel as best or as much as you want? That was close. So, just something to think about. More food, more thoughts. And, this goes back to our first on volume one, and this is still a continuation of volume one, is how am I doing? How am I taking care of my vehicle that God gave me? What am I doing, or what am I inputting into my vehicle? And then three, how can I better take care of my vehicle, right? And so I'm looking at my meal right here. I'm looking probably about a total, and I'm getting my micronutrients with the spinach and the arugula and the lime, but I'm looking at roughly anywhere from 700 to 800 total calories, and maybe a little bit more. Of course, it always varies depending on size and how much spinach and the other details that I want to put into my food. But this is something simple, something easy. And for more food, more thoughts, this is your coach, Javier, checking out. If you made it this far, go ahead, do your thing, like it, share it if you feel like this resonated with you. Show some love, comment, do what you do. But I'm gonna go ahead and eat my meal, and I'll catch you guys soon.